What do you do if you're craving foods, especially in the fruits, carbs, and sugars category, while trying to do a carnivore diet and even a ketogenic diet? We're going to get into it right now. Welcome to my very humble channel where I really am promoting nothing right now, and I'm trying to get my house built and they haven't dropped off the second load of lumber, so I better hurry up. Let's get into what do you do if you're craving fruit? Should you eat fruit? If you're craving carbs, sugars, pizza, what do you drink if you're doing a ketogenic and a carnivore diet and you're trying to get into ketosis? Okay. Number one, we got to figure out why you're craving these foods. And typically it's because you're not in ketosis. When you're in ketosis, you don't really crave things. It takes a lot before you fall off that wagon. Like super stressful event, which will bounce your blood sugar around. So you could be doing great, just cruising along, and then boom, out of nowhere, you're craving something. You're like, this is weird because I never craved it before. And you don't realize that you didn't sleep well or you had a really stressful event, which everyone has this. So when people say that they're not stressed, they don't recognize stress. So that is the thing, the first thing I want to start off by really getting you guys to understand that craving, if you think you're not stressed, that's the number one reason why people are craving something. Their blood sugar is swinging and swinging and swinging like a monkey on a vine, and you need to be more in this zone of blood sugar rather than this one. And if your blood sugar's swinging but you're doing everything correct, that's why we need to consider your sleep quality, because most of you are not going down to that fifth level of sleep or deep sleep. And if you're not sleeping throughout the night in these cycles, these 90-minute cycles, the next day, your insulin may not be working properly and your blood sugar might be swinging. Another thing is the DONS phenomenon. That's not natural. If you're having a massive dump of glucose into the bloodstream, you have blood sugar dysregulation, which is why we want to get more in that tighter zone. And typically the blood sugar dysregulation and the dump of glucose is from hypoglycemia, because you're not in ketosis. Many of you doing these low carb diets where there's no starch involved or sugar and you're craving it, you're not in ketosis. People have way too much protein in their diet. Even when they think they've cut it down, they're still eating too much protein, and people almost never hit the fat goal. People say, I don't know how to get in the fat. How do I do it? I'm like, eat it. You mean just eat it? Just grab some butter and munch on it? I'm like, yes. Do not complicate these diets or your body will not react well to this massive shift. These are the things that most people don't talk about. They're just like, oh, if you're hypoglycemic, just eat beef, butter, and bacon, or just eat butter, or eat butter before you go to bed. No. No. Because a lot of you have a gallbladder issue and you can't even freaking make the ketones. So you start craving the carbs and sugars. Poor sleep, crave the carbs and sugars. Gallbladder issue, sludged up, stoned up, or tight, crave the carbs and sugars. This is huge because you can't eat the carbs and sugars because you're trying to be in ketosis or be a carnivore zealot. So you just start pounding down the protein. And then the protein gives you that candy bar effect, right? Because you have poor digestion. Now that protein is reconverted back into glucose and you're having that sugar high. And let's talk about that candida, because that will make you crave carbs and sugars too, which is why you don't add fruit ever. Well, one of the reasons why you don't add fruit to a carnivore or ketogenic diet, you don't realize you're having blood sugar dysregulation, and that's why you're craving your favorite fruits more than ever before. And as soon as you have one, you have another. It's like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. And you're not going to get into ketosis, even if you have a little bit of fruit, because you're telling the brain that you're glucose dependent now, and you got to start all over again to try to convince your body to go over to ketosis land and get into ketosis via the animal fat. And yeah, no, you can't do fruit unless it's avocados, high in fat and fiber, olives, little bit of coconut meat. And I mean a little, because you eat too much and that'll spike your blood sugar. Or if you can tolerate lemons, you can do some lemon water to kind of get that gallbladder and the liver flushed out. But that's it. I mean, maybe some of the meat of a tomato here and there if you don't have a thyroid or a nightshade issue, but no sweet fruits. If you're craving them, you're not in ketosis. And that could also mean that your candida is dying off and you just want more. Candida die off, crave sugar like crazy, like it's insane. You don't always have to have a skin reaction as a die-off. Sometimes you could just have a die-off, a fungal die-off. It can manifest on the tongue or different parts of the body, orifices. But you'll crave sugar. Oh, yes. Candida will try to reestablish its position. It grows in the presence of sugar. Something you really need to think about. Hypoglycemia is the main reason you're not in ketosis. The blood sugar is going too high, then too low. And the body's like, well, if you just ate some carbs, we could get the gas tank filled back up again of glycogen, because liver glycogen and instant blood sugar is going to last 10-15 minutes and then you're going to crash. Then you're going to crave it again. And that's why people can't have like ice cream and sweets in their home or their favorite crackers or chips or whatever, because their blood sugar's swinging up that vine. So eating too much protein, not enough fat. What do? Eat fat, less protein. Having fruit in the house. Don't buy sweet fruit. Just get rid of it. It's genetically modified, selectively bred, and hybridized anyway to be more sweet, because in nature, fruit tastes pretty bitter unless it's about to die, and is very sweet at that moment. And only certain fruits were sweet in nature. Most of them very bittery and starchy. Also consider the sleep again, poor sleep, blood sugar dysregulation, glucose dump in the morning, and your body wants more sugar. But the last reason, I'm sure there's 20 more, but the last reason I can think of at the moment is fasting. You're not in ketosis. You are literally depleted of glycogen in your muscle. Your brain is like, excuse me, I need energy and I'm not in ketosis, because you're fasting. Where's the fat coming? So let's go into gluconeogenesis and raise your blood sugar and also get you to crave carbs, sugar. One more, I forgot, chocolate. That could be because you're not having enough magnesium, potassium, and your body's like, I need some magnesium to balance these electrolytes. I'm feeling a little dehydrated. Heart palpy. So you will crave chocolate. Also, yeah, if you could be craving carbs and fruit because you're dehydrated. And a lot of people actually just eat carbs and fruits or fruits on carnivore because they have headaches, heart palpitation, muscle cramps, day cramps, potassium night cramps, magnesium, thirsty, and they have their minerals so off, and you guys are using cheap products like Element, garbage, Keto Chow, garbage. The ones that are a little better are Dr. Berg's formula and Redmond's Real Salt. But to be honest, they're complexes mixed with a bunch of stuff. They don't use potassium chloride, but still, they use citrate, which is much, much better. But you will crave the carbs because carbs make you hold on to water. And, well, when your cells are holding on to water, they hold on to minerals and you don't feel dehydrated. And that is the very last one for now. Comment below if any of this stuff has happened to you. If you guys want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com and book a consultation. I've been doing this a long time. I'm not going to jerk your chain and make you purchase a bunch of stuff you don't need. I'm just going to use all the years of experience to really go down the rabbit's hole and figure out what you guys aren't figuring out. I also run a course where I cover all 3 diets, because some of you can't do carnivore, some of you can't do carbs because of like hyper or hypoglycemia, and some of you can't do keto. Well, if you can't do keto, you can't do carnivore because you have to be high fat. Then you got to work out that gallbladder. So you got to fix it before you go back to any one of those diets. But then that's not true. Some of you can't do plants at all, and then carnivore would be better. Okay, yeah. Also, you can follow me on my Facebook fan page, which is Stephanie the Business Person. My website is stephanieperson.com. I am 56, and soon I'm going to be 57 and touching in 3 years 60. 60, 60, 60, 60. It works. This works. But it takes a lot of work to figure it out. Doesn't matter what anybody else is going through on carnivore or ketogenic diets. Does not matter. They are not you. They are not you. I am not you. It has taken me the entire 16, almost 17 years to figure this out. Because when I started off, there was no information. It was trial and error. Those who are patient are the ones who succeed. And I'm out. Energy. And yes, I am working on this challenge. I am. I will announce the sign-up date soon. I tried to get it done by this month, but there's no way because I'm having my house built. But it's going to get done. I am so close to having it finished and reviewed and then published. Stay tuned.